success of the Greater Clinton region. Grow Clinton This Morning, a program in partnership with KROS.
Well, in studio with me today for Grow Clinton is Jenny, and I had the pleasure of being on a podcast.
Oh, that was so much fun. Everybody loves Gary Detterman. He was on our Grow Clinton podcast. That's one of our member benefits, is to have, people on this podcast. And at first it kind of started out quiet, and then now we've got quite a podcast guest list, and Gary had to be on it because you are a star.
Well, thank you. Now, you've done close to 300 of these, right?
Right, we're getting up there. I think we are close to the 250 mark, and usually, people do about 50, and then they kind of decide whether they're going to keep going. If they get to 100, a lot of times that's what they call podcast fade, and then you just decide that we're done, doing that. But this is really, really taken off. In the beginning, I was calling people and asking them to be on the podcast, or, getting a hold of them, and now they're getting a hold of me. And so I know I reached out to you, Gary, because I thought, we got to hear from Gary. We're on his show now. We got to turn the tables. And
I was very impressed with the equipment
that
you have in there.
Yeah, well, we were really lucky because we put out, first of all, Andy Sokolovich, of course, came up with all of this podcast stuff. And we had a room that, we're lucky enough, the Gateway Area Foundation allowed us to get a room built. And then we asked for sponsors for the podcast, and instead of just getting one, we've got 4 now, and they sponsor all the stuff we do in the podcast room. And of course, it's not a cheap thing to do, but if you're going to do it, you better polish it up and do it right. You know that. And we really enjoy having people on, and I've had people from all over, tell me that they listen to it. I don't just mean in Iowa or in the county. I've gone all kinds of places and heard about it. In fact, I went to a national meeting recently, and it was for people who have my position, member and community director at a chamber, and they were asking me from all over the country about our podcast and how we do it and how does it get set up. And, they pretty much want lessons from Andy how to get everything set up, because, the technical part of it is not easy.
No.
And you've got to kind of master that before you go on, because otherwise it's just a big mess. So
once a podcast has been done,
right,
can people go back and take a look at them again?
Sure. They can go on they can go on YouTube and go to Grow Clinton IA/IL. They can go on our Facebook page. It lives on there. And then also any streaming service that you are on, you can look Grow Clinton up, and we'll be on there with our podcast.
Very interesting. What's your next one? Do you know?
Oh, geez. Yeah. Let me see. Darn it. I can't. I think
Do you have one this week?
Yeah, I think I added one on, and it might be toward the end of the week.
Okay.
But, we start out saying we'll do 1 a week. Now we're doing 2 to 3 a week. And if I do any more than that, then Andy just says, take it easy. So, you just never know. But we really enjoy it. And I ran into somebody in Chicago once I didn't know, and she said, I listened to your podcast. She recognized me from it. And I said,
wow,
what? And she said, yeah, we're from North Carolina. We just like hearing what's going on in smaller towns. We caught your podcast, and now we listen to it all the time. And then people in town tell me that they love listening to it just because they get to hear about all the different businesses, who's behind all the different businesses, and putting names and faces together. So it's a really nice way to learn about all of the people in our town.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
I've been visiting with Jenny on Grow Clinton. So what you got coming up?
Well, we've got our series called New Boco. It's an entrepreneurial series coming from Cedar Rapids, a gentleman named Alex Taylor, who is a professor at Tippy Business School in Iowa City and also has his own businesses. Comes every second and fourth Wednesday of the month from 9 to 3. You can schedule a meeting with him. We're trying to support the entrepreneurs in our community who want to open businesses. And it's really easy to say, I want to open a business. And then sometimes people make mistakes. Like I bought a building, now I want to open a business. It's probably a better idea to have a mentor talk to you and say, get your business plan in order first, make sure you have the financing, and then buy a building, or then invest in whatever you need in stock or services or anything like that. So Alex is an expert in this field. We're really happy to have him come to Clinton. He does this all over, eastern Iowa. If you'd like a meeting with Alex, you can call the office at 563-242-5702, and we'll get you set up. Again, he's every second and fourth Wednesday of the month from 9 to 3.
All right, very good.
Okay, and then also, we've got something really fun coming up March 30th, and that's a Monday. Our Value Spotlight, Grow Clinton Value Spotlight Cornerstone Award, which recognizes businesses in our community that have longevity and a long-standing investment in Clinton and the surrounding areas. This year, the 2026 Cornerstone Award goes to Don's Jewelry on Main Avenue. They will be having, I think it's their 64th anniversary. They opened it, no, that's not right. Anyway, they opened in 1959. I think that 65 is coming up then. And they have been on Main Avenue since the beginning at 200 Main Avenue, and they have great, investment in our community. They're very active in our community, very great community members, very active in giving back to the community. So that's going to be Monday, March 30th at noon at Don's Jewelry. We're so excited to give them this award. They really deserve it, and they work real hard.
Congratulations to Dan and Cheryl Lynn.
Yeah, Dan and Cheryl Lynn, that's right. That was opened in 1959 by Dan's dad, Don, of course, Don's Jewelry, and Marvel, his wife, worked really hard. And now Dan and Cheryl Lynn Bartles are running the show, and we just can't wait to see what, they keep adding things. I can't wait to see. Of course, I love jewelry.
And, of course, you can always pick up a bottle of wine as well.
Oh, my goodness. That's a funny story because when I got engaged, my fiancé, for Christmas gave me a bottle of wine, and I was like, oh, this is great because it's local wine, and he got it at Don's. That's really sweet. And the next thing I know, whip, there's this ring, and I was like, what? And it was the best memory. So cute.
So you got a ring as well as wine.
I got wine. I still have the wine and the ring. Okay, so then we have a new business person in town here. It'll be a ribbon cutting for Ryan Randall from the State Farm Agency, 826 South 4th Street. We'll be doing that Monday, April 6th at 3:30. I'm sorry, 3:30 in the afternoon. Welcome, Ryan. I know Ryan from being in class with my kids. It's really fun to see people come back to the community and give back to the community and invest in our community. And I think he's right across the street from Hy-Vee. So you might remember Jeff Reed was in there, and now Ryan's in there, Ryan Randall. So we're excited to cut a ribbon for him and welcome him to the community and say thank you for investing.
I was driving by there the other day, and I saw that they were putting up a new sign.
Yeah, he's so excited about that, too, and I'm excited for him, too. He's a real smart guy, and I've known him since he was a little kid, and he's a great kid. He's a great guy. So, okay, so Saturday, April 18th at 9 a.m., of course, legislative coffee. That'll be down in Comanche, 818 7th Avenue South. Come and join us with your questions for our legislators, Tom Detterman, Norland Mompson, and Mike Zimmer will be there to answer your questions. If you don't catch them then at 9 a.m., then go on out to DeWitt, and at 11 they'll be out there at the community center, and they're there to answer your questions. We have a lot coming up in this year's legislative session, and people have lots of questions, and it's something that you need to do if you vote. It's not just for certain people, it's for everybody. So come on and join us at 9 a.m. Saturday, April 18th at Comanche City Hall.
Now, is this something that also people, if they can't make it, can see again later on?
Yes, there's a link. So you have to, well, I don't know if you can see it later on, but there's a link to join live if you'd like. Right. And I imagine that they, keep the recording of it as well. So you can call our office and get that information.
And the number again to the office?
563-242-5702.
All right, great to see. Anything
else? You
too?
Oh, we're just busy now, so we're waiting for the warm weather and getting even busier.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.